Hey guys, it's Will, and this one is about the personal exploration. Sorry, there's something always funny to me about the way people do spiritual videos, so I was trying to be like a guru. The personal exploration of your inner states. Though, in normal speak, what I'm saying here is like, we looked at some science, which is awesome. And then, additionally, you have your own exploration of what you find in your own personal science. You know, testing out your interiors, meditation states, dream states. You know, sometimes you jack in a pretty strong way. You get that shamanism going. And, yeah, you receive visions, insights, metaphors. Like, to back this with some physics just for a second, like what we talked about is we're connected to all the light, all the information. So what I'm saying is like your own personal exploration is a very juicy territory for philosophy, understanding who we are, all that. So for me, here's what I did for my exploration. I basically set up terrain to go study. I'm going to tell you my story because I think it will expedite your own investigation. What I did is I set it up with science and the testimony of others. Meaning, like, I read almost all the philosophies on Earth. Wow. It doesn't take that long, actually. And a lot of people have already summarized them. And I had, like, this good map of, like, okay, these teachers were probably of the highest integrity, and they say this. They had the most logical consistency, and they say this. They seem the happiest and most badass, and they say this. I'm talking about, like, territory, like science can take you to a certain extent, but at a certain, like, level of inquiry, you're kind of, like, doing, if you want to get beyond what we can measure with our instruments, which is perhaps even just, like, one bandwidth of reality, we have a pyramid. I mean, you can imagine, like, the base floor of the pyramid being physical reality, right? And you can imagine, like, spirit, da-da-da-da-da. Come on, thingy. All going all the way up, right? So, if our instrumentation is, I'm just saying, there's space to explore ourselves beyond what we know from science, right? The source of energy is, like, very, you guys get it. There's mystery beyond what our scientific instruments can perceive, and so to know that mystery, we rely on our own knowingness, which is much more powerful than we were taught. So, for me though, like, in addition to just straight up doing it myself, like, I, in advance, was, like, scoping out what everyone else thought about it, which has ups and downs, you know what I mean? You can get led sideways. Some people are full of hoo-ha. Honestly, in the spiritual space, there's some demons. There's some demons teaching some things. Come to me for all of you. Okay. So, let me just focus on what I found. And this is, like, what I found to be true for me. Like, I teed it up with some science and some of what others thought, but, like, I was always, like, going to go validate for myself and hedging against confirmation bias, hedging against the probability that I'm just creating the experience that I expected to create. Like, I'm just saying, I've been chewing this over for years, guys. I'm doing this for years, and this is the best that I understand today. We should all be sharing these things with each other. Hey, where did you come from? Do you know? Yeah, here's what I'm pretty sure of so far. Keep you posted. So, we need to take a journey. Let us take a journey together. We have here a metaphor. See these here dials. Dun, 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 dun. In our metaphor, these are going to be incarnations. Oh my god, have we actually played the game many times? In an endless universe. How boring it would be to play once. Again, the rules are miraculous. So in the confines of miraculous, how many times will we play the game? This here is a sundial. Can anyone guess the metaphor? Is that our soul? And are these incarnations of the soul? Is this actually true? Or is this a load of BS? What's this? This is a sunflower incarnation. This incarnation seems very sunny and big compared to these incarnations. Wow. Welcome to planet Earth at the launch of the Golden Days. Alright, I'm going to explain this. So, for me, yeah, for a long time, incarnation was maybe true, probably not. But then there's actually a bunch of science to back it up. I finally had my own experiences, and I wasn't even looking for it. So I'm going to talk a bit about that, my own first-hand experience, and I'm also going to talk about my relationship with my soul. But what I'm saying here is there's an aspect of us that's like above time and space, right? That is aware of many incarnations simultaneously, okay? And our soul's rocking that level of perspective, okay? You know, you could keep going up. You know, our soul probably has, Mom, is that you? Yeah. You want to wave? We're almost done. There's Mom. She has a soul too. All right, I gotta keep going. I'm almost done. We're going to dinner or lunch with Granddad. All right, let's keep this going. I'm here with family. It's fun. Sometimes souls incarnate together and they have experiences together again and again and again. We got cousins and brothers and sisters, but our soul, you could build an even taller thing, right? Something that's like the creator of our soul, right? And the physics affirms this. David Bohm's physics actually keeps having orders above and above and above. You know, we talked about like the implicate order. That's where our soul plays. It's above time and space. And we talked about the explicate order, right? Here we are as little toadstools in the sand here in time and space. Now, the funny thing is, and again, the physics justifies this, we're in both places together. It's a unified whole. So we can become aware of our soul and experience ourselves as our soul. And what I was saying just before this is there's levels up and up and up. Super implicate order, super. And, you know, David Bohm was unable to find a stop to it. He died at some point. You can only do so much work in a lifetime. Right. Now, the cool thing, again, with interconnection, all this stuff is alive now, always, swirling together, mixing. Like, there are no closed systems. Like, we're here in our private experience, but we're bumping up against all sorts of energies, guys. And so you can have skill sets and gifts. I can't even tell you how quick. I picked up a knife when I was into spirituality, and I was like, I mean, someone said they've never seen someone do things with a knife that I was doing with the knife. Right? I didn't learn that in this lifetime. Same with martial arts. It took me a while to open my hips and kind of get cranking in my body. But at some point, I started having like dream time of martial arts, right? And I learned it literally in my dream time from stuff that I learned. I'm just saying, like, you can pick things up from other aspects of yourself. Now, I had to clear some issues so from other incarnations, right? Here's the thing. In this lifetime, I'm kind of sunflowering. Let's say a sunflower is becoming more aware of this connection and of this story, right? So this is like an incarnation where you're like, oh, I'm kind of jacking into my oversoul, right? So if you're doing that, you're going to have some gifts that you pick up. And every once in a while, you're going to have one of your buddies who didn't clear something that your soul still has an issue with in time and space. It's like, hey, there's this energy pattern that I got kind of stuck with or didn't clear. And in that way, you may be called to, like, yeah, actually almost pass some tests that another aspect of your soul did not. For instance, I was a young martial artist and kind of in a warrior crew, and like the culture was kind of like, okay, let's not get in this story. Gay, rapey, whatever. My master, teacher, he got me, and I could have clubbed him. I had like a memory recall of it. There was a club I could have picked up, but I probably would have had to kill him. So I just took it, you know, and in this lifetime, all of a sudden, at one point, all this gay energy started coming at me, and anyway, and I could go on and on. I had a chance in Africa where there's experience where I had chances. I don't want to get too into the nitty gritty. I had chances in this lifetime to do what I didn't do in that lifetime time, which is like set boundaries, say no. You know what I mean? And so my soul feels better about that. On a bigger level, I had an incarnation. It actually wasn't on Earth, where I was trying to teach some things. Whatever, they didn't like it, so I was putting the muzzle. So when I started speaking my truth, I had all this like my cells. Your cells aren't confined to the same linear constrictions as you, so your cells are like, they remember stuff. This is a little different, but if you actually do a liver transplant from one person to another, they have memory sometimes from the first person. I'm just saying the cells remember, the cells are alive, and your cells have that reincarnational history, even if, again, I'm speaking from my own firsthand experience. I don't think we have the science for that yet, but many of my friends who have this experience would speak to the same thing. Your body remembers. It's like your soul is in your body, and your body is aware of some of your soul memories, okay? And so there are a few things maybe you have to work with from your other lives, but the bigger thing is you have so many gifts. Like, the bigger thing is you like know stuff. Like, I know how to move energy. I had to unlock it in this life and work with it in this life, but like, it's stuff I've done a million billion times. I've been a teacher a million billion times. So like, for me, teaching comes naturally. Do you see what I'm saying? Sex? Don't say that out loud. Okay, a tantric yoga girl was like, oh. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, I've hit the points I wanted to hit and shared some of my own flavor of it. To me, this is important. There's a lot I could talk about within the actual oversoul. To me, it's almost like, to be more true, our oversoul has like guardians for us, or cousins, sisters, older brothers and sisters, which I think of as my higher selves. So to me, I don't just connect with my oversoul, I connect with like a crew. And I could talk about that crew. I'm going to do that later. And the personality that I am is a mixture, integration, almost like an art project of my choosing, of a combination of my higher selves. Like, my personality is not separate from them. Like, I am my playful Syrian chick. I am my warrior, like, she's bigger than words, man, Andromedan queen. Like, I am my tech, like, teaching, like, monk, savvy, Arcturian dude. Like, I am my tribal, incarnations on Earth. Like I am these things. You know what I mean? And I'm me. I got my inner child. I got my own, like, sort of flavor personality. But like, it's a mixture. It's a balance of who I am and like where I come from. And to be aware of that is good, because you can be taught by your higher selves. Like, I've got one that's always like, keep your head up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's my more warrior flavor. That's one I didn't talk about. Another one. But I got another one that she's always like, play. Could you play for a second? She's always like, come on. Could you play and enjoy yourself a little bit? And it's fun. So the knowingness of your soul increases as you do that energy game that we're going to be talking about. As you increase your energy, you become able to process more information, able to hold more responsibility and knowingness and responsibility. And that's huge, because you are acquainted with the aspects of your soul that do reside at a higher platform. So the more love and energy that you carry, the more you can interact with, that aspect of your selfhood. And that's amazing. Basically, you get to play up there. And there's a lot of awesomeness up there. Yeah. And that's how I've encountered my selfhood, or my soul, or where I come from. I could talk for more about personal details, but I mostly here wanted to give like enough of a enough of my story just to make the metaphor clear, like what I mean by each of these things. So, in summary, we got a soul. We've played the game many, many, many times. The game from our soul perspective is really cool. I've had a few times where I've encountered that. The way they're playing the game is amazing. That aspect of our selfhood. It's almost like being in like a super intense video game. I mean, imagine all of those incarnations like streaming together and keeping track of all that and like helping. Oh wow, that is so fun. So an aspect of ourselves is doing that, and then we are like here enjoying it, learning. We're on our own developmental track. You know what I mean? And there's a story that ties it all together, and you know, it's beautiful. So I love that. All right, that's my subjective encountering of who I am. And that ought to be useful. Yeah, always experience it your own way. Love you. Peace.
Yellow, yellow, yellow tie. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.